Welcome to Within the Frame, where we bring the most pressing issues across the globe into focus. I'm Kim Mok-yeon. The 11th Global Korean Politicians Forum kicks off today in Korea, bringing together elected leaders of Korean heritage from around the world. The focus, how diaspora leadership is shaping international policy, identity, and cooperation. Among this year's participants is Mr. Paul Choi, the first Korean-Canadian elected to British Columbia's governing body, now serving as Parliamentary Secretary for Asia-Pacific Trade. From cultural diplomacy to regional trade, Mr. Choi represents a new kind of diaspora leadership rooted in community but increasingly global in scope. Tonight, we invite Mr. Choi, a member of the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia and Canada, to speak about the forum, Korea-Canada relations, and what's next for Korea political influence abroad. A big welcome, Mr. Choi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So let's start right away. You're here for the Global Korean Politicians Forum, of course. What does it feel like to be a part of this year's gathering? And also, I would like to ask, what were the conversations that were standing out the most?
I absolutely feel honored to be one of the politicians invited around the world to take part in this forum. It's my first time attending once I was elected last year. And I think it's personal pride that we all carry, knowing that we have Korean roots, but be able to come together and share different identity and connection we have. I know there are some participants who are here, who are visiting for the first time and learning about Korea and what it means to be Korean. And I know that it's this sort of network that we're going to have by connecting with everyone around the world, but sharing the Korean heritage. That's the connection that's going to be really special and ensure that we have different representation, different inclusiveness, and combat different discrimination that we sometimes face when we're working in different parts of the world.
Very important, right?
Yes.
It's definitely a very meaningful gathering. Could you also tell us from your perspective, how do you see this forum contributing to the global influence of Korean political voices? And also at this, kind of global uncertain time, what is the role of Korean leadership?
Yeah, it is something that I feel that we can bridge East and West perspective. And we have shown in Korean history that we have resiliency and we have adaptability. And I believe that is something we can bring to the world stage. And it is something that I see it's really cultural as well. That's embedded in us in Korean as immigrants. We work hard and we value family, we value community, and we have this 정 that is hard to define in a sort of Western world, but it is something that really you feel. It's hard to sort of express, but you just feel when you meet someone like that.
Right. So it seems like global influence, especially grounded in our cultural identity, is growing even more and more. Now let's turn to your personal experience. You're the first Korean member of BC's governing body and the first Korean parliamentary secretary as well. We must ask, how did you initially enter Canada's political arena?
Yeah, it's not something I was planning to get into, or it wasn't something that I had it as a goal. When I first moved there, I moved there when I was a child, when I was 10 years old, with my parents. And we were a very typical immigrant family. We started a small convenience store to ensure we can make ends meet and also get our PR, permanent residency status. And as we were doing that, I got to see face to face up front what different discrimination and racism was. We had a little pub beside the convenience store, and we would have people come, drunk and would steal stuff and vandalize the store. And I wanted to do something that is going to help and support my family and friends around me. And so that's what led me to apply to be a police officer. And as I was working as a police officer, there were a lot of international students that was in our community that I had the fortune of helping them out a lot. And as I was doing that, I realized that I wanted to see if I can help them more, not just help them on the street, but also help them when they enter the court system. And that's why I decided to go back to law school and become a lawyer and became a crown prosecutor and was helping them in the courtroom as well. But even at that point, what I realized was, as I was helping these victims, if I felt like there was a rule or law that was different, then I could help them more. That was just personal curiosity that I had. It wasn't, that wasn't a point where I decided, well, I'm going to run for office and change the law. I was just kind of supporting and volunteering and try to support my community as much as possible. As one of the things I did was to volunteer as a president for a business improvement association, which included a Koreatown in Coquitlam Burnaby border in BC. And as we were doing that, we would host community events. And in those areas, we had some politicians that would attend. And so I got to know some of them. And when there was election, they came to me and approached me and said, you'd be great. We would love to have you join as part of the team and run. And so I decided to, run and see how much impact I can have, especially with the practical experience I have on the streets and courtroom. I felt that maybe I can offer something of value at the policy-making level.
Wow, so from a 10-year-old boy, then to a police officer, and then a lawyer, and then a politician. Well,
Yes.
it definitely seemed to be a long journey, but you made it.
Yes, absolutely.
Congratulations
Yes,
again.
thank you.
So now with this big role, of course, it comes with added visibility, of course. And many now see you as a central figure in the growth of the Korean Canadian community as well. What does it mean to you personally and politically to be recognized as a key voice for that community?
It's something that I don't feel still. I don't feel like I'm someone who's a central figure, but I'm very humbled to have people believe in me, to trust in me, to be able to support me in this role. And that's why it's very humbling, and also I believe it's only possible because of those around me and the first generation, like my parents, who were there to pave the road for me. Politically, I think it adds responsibility to ensure that I amplify the Korean voices at provincial and international stage. And that's why I was the first one to shout 대한민국 만세 in the parliament near the 3.1절, because I wanted to ensure that I let people know in the province that even though we are right now known for a lot of K-pop, K-beauty, K-movies and dramas, which is great, but there's also other side of Korea that people may not be aware of, that we have this long history, that we have this resiliency, we have this ability to overcome difficulties and adversaries. And in this current uncertainty in times, I believe that is something we can harness and to ensure that we have more global peace.
Wow, that was definitely a very proud moment for many of us.
Thank you.
Now, so maybe that's the reason that you've led various efforts to, spread Korean culture in Canada as well. Could you share for us some of those efforts, and also what's driving you to do so?
Yes, I had the fortune to try a lot of different things in my community. Right now, we are trying to preserve the Koreatown that's been in existence for the last 20 years. With a lot of developments going on, the Koreatown that started at its height, about 11 blocks long, it's kind of withered down to about a block and a half now. So I'm really trying to push to ensure that we are preserving the K-Town by officially recognizing and declaring as a heritage Koreatown from the city of Burnaby. And that's almost passed, and it should be passing the final stage in about a month. And I am also declaring for the first time a Kimchi Day. in our province. And that event is happening in about 5 days, actually, in September 5th. So that is really exciting to showcase our Korean cuisine, not just kimchi, but other Korean food as well, that is very popular. Also, I forward a Korean Heritage Month Act in the Parliament, and that is at the final stage, and it's expected to pass in about a month, and it will declare October each month, each year, to be a Korean Heritage Month that we will celebrate. And I'm also currently at this point planning for a Korean Heritage Festival in the Parliament, where we'll have showcase a lot of Korean food, Korean arts like K-pop and Taekwondo, and share a bit more about Korean heritage to the people in the Parliament around the world.
Wow, so it seems like a lot of efforts to, experience Korea in Canada.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Right, that's definitely very applaudable. So it seems as though the Canadian people are now a little bit more open to Korean culture.
Yes.
Possibly also due to thanks to these kinds of efforts. Could you, at this point, could you tell us, of course, this year marks the 62 years of diplomatic ties between the two countries. Could you evaluate the relationship, how it stands today, and what more is needed to, better strengthen the relationship?
Absolutely. I think it's very strong and is growing right now. There's a lot that we share in value. There's a lot of democratic values, people-to-people ties that we have, and also veterans' legacy that we share from Korean War. Right now, we have Strategic Partnership Action Plan that was entered into in 2022. And there is a lot of expanded education and youth exchanges. I personally have fortunate to be able to host a lot of Gyeonggi province students that visited this summer and share different cultural experiences and share different values that we have. And in June, I also visited Korea with our premier and was able to share a lot of different things like signing an MOU between different universities. And there is a lot of times where we were able to meet with a lot of in the Canadian companies here in Korea, and ensure that there is a lot of synergy that exists between Korean companies and Canadian companies in that way as well. But as you said, there is a lot more we can do. And I think we can expand parliamentary exchanges and deepen our cooperation in green tech and AI and critical supply chains. And I think we can sign more sister city or province agreements between different cities. I had the fortune to visit Asan last week, where one of my cousins lives, and it is a very big on export and import business there, and I think that city might be one of the city that would be great to sign a sister city agreement with city in Canada. So that's something I will look into when I get back into Canada.
Right. So expanding parliamentary exchanges and also, economic industries as well, and also possibly some local government exchanges would be very helpful on that. Now, let's also touch upon the economic side. 2025 actually marks 10 years since the Korea-Canada FTA took effect. For you, what does this milestone actually represent, and how do you see this agreement evolving?
I think it shows a very strong ties that Canada and Korea has. Korea was actually the very first FTA that Canada has entered into in all of Asian countries. So we are very proud of that. And because of that, since then, we have doubled our bilateral trade over the decade. And there's a lot of opportunity there with agriculture, seafood, clean energy, and Korean auto tech sectors. I had the fortune in June to come and visit and meet with the CEO of KOGAS, who is one of the big investor in our LNG Canada projects. And the first shipment was actually received by KOGAS last month. So I think it is a symbol of how much we have come But I think there's a lot more we can do in that area as well. So I know that digital trade and sustainability is one of the big issue right now. And we can strengthen SME participation in cross-border issues as well as we go forward.
Right. So it seems like a big milestone, and it makes us, expect more for the decades to come. Now, looking to the multilateral stage, the APEC leadership meeting will soon take place in Gyeongju in South Korea, with Canada, of course, attending. What kind of significance does this meeting hold for Canada, especially in today's global dynamics?
I think it's really important that it is being held in Korea. We currently see Asia Pacific region as Canada's largest trading region after US. And Korea hosting it we see it as a natural partner to Canada in that sense. It's a great platform to advance inclusivity and rule-based growth. And just to highlight a few things, Canada is contributing to $2 million to APEC's programs to ensure that there's inclusivity and sustainable growth. And there is, to ensure that there is, reaffirm our commitment to peace and rule of law, and then ensure that we support stability in that sense as well. We know that there is APEC Toronto, so it's APEC's Business Advisory Council. That meeting was held in Toronto, showing that Canada is surging on AI and biotech and EV supply chains as well. So it shows that we can co-lead in different supply chain resiliency in Asia Pacific region. And it shows that Canada and Korea alignment well in joint push for energy and critical minerals and defense cooperation as well, of course.
Mm-hmm. So Canada is investing a lot in this APEC as well and has a lot of expectations. So what is Canada's, we call it goal, right? Or what is Canada actually hoping to achieve at this APEC?
So we're hoping to reinforce Indo-Pacific strategy that we have with partners like Korea to diversify our economic partnership around the world and put our efforts into where it's growing. And we know that Indo-Pacific economic region is one of the fastest growing area right now, and it is expected by 2040 it will be the biggest economic region in the world. And we want to advance the FTA-AP pathway discussions as well, and build coalition on climate and green energy economy as well. So carbon neutral trade is something we are hoping to see a lot there, and position Canada as the trusted, reliable partner in this turbulent economy right now.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Choi, we had a very interesting discussion today, but before we finally let you go, one last question. So, as someone who's bridging two nations, what kind of message do you hope Korean political leaders abroad could carry forward in, shaping global diplomacy and their community impact as well?
I want to carry forward the resiliency that we have as Korean immigrants around the world. I think that's needed more than ever right now. And I want to use the Korean values that we have of relying on genuine information that we have, the family and community connection to inspire inclusive politics worldwide. As an example, when I met with the KOGAS CEO, we found out that we're both Chessy, we're both Chois. And so we obviously asked, which Choi are you? And it turns out we were same. And she was also stationed in Yuseong in Daejeon for a few years, number of years there. And so it's that sort of connection, I believe, it's really special. It's really hard to put it in a tangible way, but it is something that's really important because it creates that immediate, deeper bond that it's so helpful when you're trying to work through different issues and to see how our different interests can align for two nations. So I think it is that our collective voice is stronger together so that our leadership can be guided in both tradition and innovative way as we go forward.
A very powerful note to end on. Mr. Choi, thank you so much for sharing with us your journey, your work, and your vision as well. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks so much for having me. Thank you.
And that'll be all from us on Within the Frame tonight. Be sure to tune in again next time as we continue to explore the stories that matter. Until then, stay informed and engaged.